welcome to Cosmic Roots Alchemy. My name is Tanisha J. I am a tarot reader. I am an apprentice ancestral astrologer, and I'm a lover of all things with spiritual alchemy. And when I say spiritual alchemy, I'm talking about the energy that can be transmuted to help you to get to your higher self, to walk in your purpose, and to help guide you along your journey. I'm here today because I'm going to be doing ancestral astrology for a while. And with ancestral astrology, I want to explain this to you. Before I get into explaining and everything, I want you to know the bones of ancestral astrology, because sometimes I know as I'm going to go into and explain with my computer here, you'll see me going back and forth to my computer a little bit. But I want you to know the bones of ancestral astrology. Is to let you know that you didn't just drop here on the earth planet. You were created for a purpose. You were created to walk this journey, this path, this earth for a reason. So the moment that you were born, the planets, the stars, everything aligned for your purpose. Everything aligned for you to walk in your purpose. Everything aligned for you to be who you want to be in a free will. So I want you to know that it's about the extraordinary person that you are. It is about the power that you have with your voice. It's the power that you have with your actions. So that's the very first thing I want you to know. But first, I'm going to explain ancestral astrology, and I probably am going to go into some of the meaning of the planets and everything. I'm going to try to make it a short video series so that it won't be overwhelming, and then I'll probably be going into doing a bit of ancestral astrology readings. So let's first go to what is ancestral astrology. Ancestral astrology is a sacred blueprint for soul work. It reveals inherited emotional patterns, strength, and evolutionary themes present in your birth chart, offering awareness you can be conscious of, like choices, instead of doing the same unconscious repetition. It's, to me, it's like your ancestors came to speak with you, having a conversation with your ancestors, and they left their blueprint. They left the coding, the cosmic coding, into your birth chart. That's what ancestral astrology feels like to me. Like they were like, we may not be here, but this is how we're going to help you and guide you along your path, that we'll always be around you. Now, what we use for ancestral astrology is a natal chart, of course. The natal chart, as we look at your natal chart, we're charting and we're navigating a sacred blueprint of your purpose, your ancestral guidance. As I said before, it's sacred tool for sacred work. And I want you, and I'm saying sacred because so many times we hear every day. Most of us work a 9-to-5. Most of us trying to make it for our family, try to make it for ourselves. And I don't want you to think that's all life is about, is making it, because you can thrive in life. You are here to put forth to be thriving in life. But the natal chart helps you to show growth and nurture who you are. And like I said, it's a sacred blueprint of such and such, like me, Tanisha J. Your name, your child. It's a bloodline. It's your bloodline coming down to speak with you and guide you. Next, let's talk about the natal chart houses. Now, with ancestral astrology, natal chart houses, I kind of took a little liberty of working with the names different. Like for the first house, it's soul's arrival. That's like the incarnation. How did you come through this lineage at this time? And the soul house is basically saying, how did this person come here? Did you come to change? Did you come to illuminate? Did you come to communicate who you are and the identity of the family lineage? You may have come to change and shake up the lineage. We don't know once we look into that first house souls arriving. But that's just, I don't want to jump ahead, but let me speak to the houses. Okay. Think of the houses where you're going to do the work at. And understanding and healing needs to be acknowledged there, because once you, like, in that first house, as I said, souls arrive. You're like, okay, I've been incarnated, I've come through the bloodline, and this is my identity, this is my core. So that's kind of telling you how you're coming through and how you came through the bloodline. um and like I said, the example was your first house, souls arriving, your incarnation through this time and this life. Then there's the fourth house, the soul's root. I love the fourth house because the fourth house is like maternal lineage. It's your land, it's family, it's the roots of your family. And the 12th house, soul's release. It that house actually, your ancestors are saying like, what can you release and lay down for this, from this family? What can you release? What can you let go? Either it can be grief, it could be grief, it can be poverty, it can be so many different things. That's why sometimes when you see people come through a bloodline and you see that they have created generational wealth in their 12th house, it may have been like, you're going to be the one, or you're going to be able to assist in creating a bloodline of general wealth to release poverty from our line, to release scarcity from our line. And it can be from the mind. And sometimes, and just not think, generational wealth is not only financially, it's actually intellectually, it's emotionally, because wealth comes in so many ways and facets. So let's begin there with that. Now, let's go to the inside of the chart, because inside the natal chart, inside of the house, you have your signs, you have your planets, you have your nodes, you have Lilith and Chiron. And sometimes I like to play with asteroids to help along the way. But I'm not going to go into the asteroids right now. We're just going to go into what we've talked about this far. But in that house, a conversation is going on, and the conversation is talking about how you are able to transmute the energies of the planets and the zodiac signs that's within that house to help you move forward and go into the journey, to your journey in your path in your life, in the steps. So think about it like that. I want to give you an example. Like for planets, Saturn to me is ancestor, the elder ancestor, the ancestral elder. Mars is the ancestral warrior, and Uranus is the ancestral breaker. Those, I kind of give my planets ancestral archetypes, because they tell you kind of what you're assigned. That's the assignment. And then the zodiac signs advise how to take those actions. Like, for example, a zodiac sign can be Gemini. So you're going to communicate, you can write, you can be an artist, griot, intellect. Capricorn is action with work, with service, discipline, and structure. And Libra is bringing justice and balance. So it tells you, like, okay, this is the action that you're going to take and how you're going to take it through this. Now, your north and your south node, those are your karmic lessons and your growth. Your south node is like, hey, that's something you have already done before. You got that down pack. It's time for you to leave that and move forward to a north node where you're just going to show you growth, new growth, and a new approach to walking in your soul path, achieving your soul path. So that's that. Lilith is expressing the repression that was denied. There may have been emotional suppression. There may have been what's other repressions that there could be? There could be emotional repression. I always see Lilith in Cancer. I always see it can be a Lilith in Gemini. That could have been repression of speaking. So there you have silence. There's no one to talk. There's no one to speak the truth of what's really going on. But with Lilith is there to say, this is what I will do. This is how I will break silence. This is how I will be able to become emotionally truthful of how I feel. Then Chiron is your wound healer. Chiron is there to say, this is the wound that you are here to heal. This is the wound that may have been in your generations, and now they're giving you the tools of how to heal that wound within the lineage, within the bloodline. And I'm also going to add in points. There are going to be points, and it's going to be vertex and fortune. Vertex is the alignment for a turning point in your life, and fortune is the karmic alignment that aligns to your purpose. There are, like I said, there are other asteroids and stuff like that, like Ceres, Ceres, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, and Pallas and others. That helps too. But I'll tell you when I'm going to use those, because I used to use those first when I first started ancestral astrology. And to be honest, using those, the planets, the signs, you still come up with the same pretty much path. It doesn't take you anywhere different when you're using something different, when you're using different planets, asteroids, or whatever. It feels like no matter what you use within that natal chart, you're going to get that message. You're going to get that healing, because in every natal chart, there's a wound and there's a way to heal that wound. And that's why I'm so excited about when I read ancestral astrology. I love that about it. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it all together and summarize how the house, the planet, and the zodiac sign conversations happen within the natal chart. So I hope you can stick with me. I hope I'm explaining it and I can help a little bit because I want you to kind of get it when I start doing ancestral astrology charts. Okay. Now, this is the conversation going on to navigate what to do in that particular house. Your house, your planet, and your signs. Those are the three things that we're talking about right now. For instance, we're going to go back to the first house, the soul arrival. Remember I said that's the incarnation. That's how you come back through the bloodline, how you show up, your core. And so the first house, we're in the soul house arrival. The planet is Uranus. And the zodiac sign is Scorpio. I'm going to break everything down now. What does that mean? Number one, ancestral astrology, I will navigate this as an incarnation is coming into your assignment, being that is the first house of soul arrival, as we said before. The planet Uranus is the action to great awakener. You're coming. I don't know, for some reason, when I see the planet Uranus, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. When I see those, I feel like someone has like this big arrow and they're going to hit the ground and the ground is just going to be cracking with lightning, and they're coming to break that foundation to set a forth new foundation. That's why I feel with Uranus when I see Uranus in the chart. But it's the great awakener. It's revolutionary. It's sudden changes and liberation that a soul is going to go through. And the zodiac sign is Scorpio. Scorpio is a beautiful sign. And people who have Scorpio, I have Scorpio in my chart. And the one thing I had to learn that I continue to go through rebirth and transformation. And it's so crazy because my sign is kind of like, I'm an aqua, so I'm kind of a fixed sign. So I'm like, oh, this is gonna happen. And so, but Scorpio, I love the aspect of rebirth, transformation, and also Scorpio is that shadow side that you're going to be working with to help heal, to help evolve, to help grow, to strengthen your understanding of yourself. That's what it is. So you arrive with the energy of breaking away or changing the ancestral lineage traditions of the identity. So that's why you're here in that first house of arrival, that first soul's arrival. You're here to break that identity of the previous ancestral lineage and traditions and identity. You're here to change that. When you come arriving like that with Uranus and then with Scorpio and the first house arrival, you're here to say, hey, I'm here to change some things. And you may, and not to say that you're the changer, because your family could have been made up of this. And here you are coming again, but you may be coming to do something totally in a different way. And we will have to see that as we go through the different houses to see what you're going to do. But as for now, I'm going to stop there because, like I said, I didn't want it to be too long. I wanted to be short, sweet. It's something you would understand and that I could share with you so when we start reading ancestral charts together. So thank you again for coming. I hope you join me in the next video. And until next time, peace and love, my cosmic loves. Talk to you later. Bye.